All right, so this is just if you are not in class today. If you are in class, we're going to go over it together, so you don't need to listen to this. So there's just a couple special cases if we solve by substitution, so it's important to notice. Okay, so yesterday we talked about how to solve a system by substitution instead of graphing. Okay, so this top problem is solve for, so why not use the solve for problem and put 3x plus y wherever 3x plus 1, wherever I see a y. Okay, so my equation could be 6x minus 2. Now instead of y, I'm going to put what it's equal to, 3x's plus 1, and that equals negative 2. Okay. Then I'm going to solve it. 6x, I need to distribute the negative 2, minus 6x minus 2. Okay. All right. 6x minus 6x is 0 x's, and I'm left with negative 2 equaling negative 2. Okay. When negative 2 equals negative 2, that means there is an infinite number of answers. So solving equations is still very important when we are solving by substitution, because substitution is basically just solving a bunch of equations within each other. Okay. What this means is, okay, if you were to graph 3x plus 1 and you were to solve this other equation, okay, I'm going to do that, but you don't have to. You would move over the 6x. You would divide by negative 2, and you would get the same exact equation. Okay, so that means whatever is on one equation is going to be an ordered pair or a solution on the other equation. Okay, for this second problem, the top problem is again solved for, so I'm going to put negative 2x plus 5, and I'm going to put that wherever I see a y. Okay, so we have 2x plus y, or negative 2x plus 5, okay, and that equals negative 5. Okay, there's no distributing, so it's just negative 2x plus 5. Again, 2x minus 2x in this case is 0 x's, and then we're having 5 equaling negative 5. Well, 5 doesn't equal negative 5, so that means there is no solution. Right? Again, what this means is if I were to graph negative 2x plus 5, be something like that. Then if I were to solve this bottom one, I would move the 2x over, and I would have negative 2x minus 5. So we notice that they have the same slope, but they're starting at different points, so they would be parallel lines, which means they would never intersect. So a conclusion is that if you have something like negative 2 equaling negative 2, that means you have infinitely many solutions. Which also means if it's a system, that means it is the same line. If you have something like 5 equaling negative 5, that's not true. That means you have no solution, which means if we're talking about a system, these would be parallel lines. Okay, so then for today, guys, there is a savas that you guys will practice. It'll have some of this, and then it'll have just regular solving by substitution.